The Minecraft Mob Vote, an event that's happened every year since 2018, and every year continues to become more and more controversial in the way that people react. Besides the obvious fact, as pointed out by Exploshi, that many Java developers could implement all 3 features relatively easily, this year actually has had some legitimate concerns and criticisms compared to the last few years. The mobs this year, compared to all previous years, despite what others may want you to believe, have been very disappointing. Some even being carbon copies of each other, so in this video I want to tell you that which mob you should vote for and why. The first option that might come to mind is,
oh, that's a rascal.
You can find this guy roaming the mine shafts, but in order to get any actual items from him, you have to find him 3 times. Considering Mojang's past tendencies, I bet that it'll be a random chance of spawning one of the items they've already shown, and, once again, backed up by the Wandering Trader and how he was implemented, it'll probably only be one of them instead of, say, a stack of steak. Considering mine shafts aren't visited that often by you, and considering how they described it as rare, I doubt that this will actually be useful in the end. Cute novelty feature, not really viable or practical in actual gameplay. Second is the bootleg Tough Golem, which moves items around that it finds. In specific, I mean it moves items that it finds on the ground, which are loose, to its original spawning point where you placed it. Basically a hunter and gatherer. And this is sort of useless considering we already had the allay. Originally, I thought that this was just going to be an Enderman random placement, but thankfully they've come to their senses and it's not. Sadly, it's still just like the allay, and an item frame could do the exact same thing, but you have to do it manually. Once again, not viable and only really useful in very specific scenarios. Now finally is the Sniffer, which out of all of these is the most vague in a sense, because, to quote the developers, it can uncover ancient items. So, as they described it as uncovering ancient things, I believe that this will actually be a gateway into finally adding archaeology, a feature that they promised all the way back in 1.17. This could also lead to loot, but I'm not keeping my hopes up. At the end of the day, worst case scenario, this could just be a fun challenge to finally hatch these guys. I mean, like, who doesn't love a big turtle? It's not that this guy is particularly good compared to the other ones, it's just that the other ones are so much lower in terms of their tier. Thank you all for listening to my shit show. My name is Nelly McDelly, and this is why you should vote for the big turtle, not the other guys. And I am out.